So, here is an update on the WNBA standings. My thoughts so far here as of 8/12/23. So they had one right after the end of July. They said to do one now because there has been some more changes. So the East, that's going to be a quick one. So the Aces are first. They are 26-3, and they clinched the playoff spot. They clinched that a few games ago. Yeah, and yeah. And then, because there's only 11 games left in the season for the Aces, and even if they lost every single one, the worst they could be is 4th. Which is just wow. Even if they lost every single one. 11 in a row they lost, so this shows you how dominant they've been. The Liberty have looked a little, sometimes a little less. Sometimes at times they don't look the best, but they look pretty well against the Aces. So they do play the Aces in the Commissioner's Cup final, and then they play them in the regular season. So I wanted to see if on Tuesday and Thursday. So I want to see if the Aces can dominate, or not dominate, but maybe clean some things up and maybe look a little closer. Even if the Aces don't win, is it not like a third? Asia didn't look the greatest in that game. She was out, and then she came back in, and they were quadruple teaming. So can they find just all over her? So they just were making shots. So can they make some shots? If the Aces lose to Liberty a lot, they play them twice more in the regular season. So, they did beat the Liberty at home. The Aces did. They're playing in Las Vegas. So maybe it might be one of those where it's a split where they win if they're at home. They win the 2 regular season home matchups and the Commissioner's Cup home matchup. But then the Liberty win when they're at home. You know what I mean? Liberty win when they're at home. Maybe. But every team has a bad off day. You could see that in their one game, in their last game, their third loss against Liberty. Their third loss of the season against Liberty. You can see they just had an off night. The first loss, the Sun, they just had an off night, but the Wanda Bonner went off in that one. In their second loss, but just both one had Satu was out half the game, and for Dallas, and they were and KP was Kelsey Plum was out the whole game. So and they were still close. It was still close even Satu win in the first half. And they almost won it, so that was just if Kelsey Plum was in the whole game, that win would have been an easy win. So, and they've been doing this without Candace Parker, from a lot of the season. She's played some games, but she's been out a lot too lately. And then Raquana Williams, has been out too. Or she's already kicked off the team, but she was a good bench player that they could have had her. But she's kicked off the team due to domestic violence. It's some pretty bad claim. Or assault claim. Something pretty horrible. So, and then the Sun are, and then the Liberty are still in. So none of the teams are eliminated from the playoffs, as you can see. Indiana's still in, but so we'll see. Then we have the Sun. They're 21-9. They are almost have a playoff berth clinched, and I'd imagine they would. Well, soon, I'd imagine they would soon. Because the Sun, I look solid lately. The Sun, everyone was counting the Sun out. The Sun can't win. You know what I mean? The Sun are not. How are they gonna look without John Claude Jones? I'm not gonna say anything for the Sun. They're 21-9, but they're pretty solid. They've had some moments without JJ or without JJ. Yes, but they look pretty solid overall. They know how to find their find their rhythm, and they've actually been a solid team. So I say those losses are but they but they've looked pretty solid though mostly. And then the Wings, they've been a well improved team from last year, 16-14. And Dallas made the playoffs last year. It was as a 6 or 5 or 5-6 area. And they've been looking really solid, 16-14. Most likely I think they can stay in the top 4 or 5. They're gonna be 4th or 5th. I don't think they can up to 3rd with 10 games left. It's going to be pretty hard. But I do think they can hang 4th or 5th in it and actually make it to the second round. Yeah, a pretty pretty competitive series. I could see the game going to Dallas and Atlanta series going to 3 games. I could definitely see that. And then you have the Dream. Yeah, they look pretty solid. Vastly solid compared to that different. Yeah, they look vastly different than they did a season ago. Tanisha Wright has really turned the team around. They've actually looked really solid and really good. The Dream have. And you can't blame them. They're not the greatest team like some of the off-season acquisitions like Alicia Gray. You got a couple of draft, you got Edie Durr, you got Haley Jones, in the draft, really solid. Like I was saying, the Dream actually do look pretty solid though, really competitive. Might not win every game, but it's only 500, but they look pretty solid though. They look good in the games they played, which is a good thing. They turned it around drastically last year. They were in the lottery, and this year they're number 5 overall. And this year the lottery is gonna be kind of weird though. Well, because you're gonna have probably Phoenix in the lottery. Yes. And you're probably gonna have, obviously, because Phoenix is still the same as last year, Indiana. And you're probably still gonna have the Sparks in the lottery. But it's Seattle. Atlanta did worse last year. They missed. Yeah. Are you gonna have the Lynx in the lottery? Because the Lynx were in the lottery last year. I don't believe that. No, the Phoenix wasn't in the lottery last year, actually. They were 8th. So Phoenix is probably going to be in the lottery. Probably Indiana being the lottery. Obviously, Indiana's still in the lottery. The Sparks. Indiana's Spark. You had the Fever, you had I like seeing you had the Dream in there. And the Dream in the land could still be in the one of those teams could still be in the lottery. Which would be actually really interesting. That happened. I mean, that would be actually really interesting. This year's lottery compared to last season's things. It's going to be very, very interesting. You know, to see who actually makes it to the lottery. I mean, Atlanta, Minnesota. I don't think if Chicago stays in the 8th spot in the playoffs, I don't think they're going to be that vastly enough. I mean, the Dream, though, didn't make the playoffs last year. Phoenix did, but I think they're barely at the playoffs, so I think they can go in. The Fever were bottom of the literally both seasons. The Sparks, yeah, didn't make the playoffs. I don't know though. It's gonna be interesting lottery. Like someone like Atlanta or Minnesota could be in the top 4 and still make the playoffs, which like as like a 5, 6 somewhere. Actually, a seed kind of decently. Yeah. Like have like really vast turnaround, like not making the playoffs to being like a 5 or a 6 or something like that. You know, and then like still getting a lottery pick is just insane, but I mean, but maybe Chicago could be in the lottery. Chicago could actually be in the lottery, but they trade that pick away though to like Dallas. So if Dallas got in the lottery, like because of Chicago, that would be crazy too. Like they've already got some top picks. Like they got what career? They got Satu. They got like Veronica Byrne, Macy Grist, Lopez. They got like this actually like really good solid team. Yeah, like a top player, like a draft. You know, maybe if like Clark comes out, or you got like even unless you have some 5th years are staying back. Like they're seeing another season in college. You may have like Keaton Clark, like it just like isn't insane. Like this draft, like it's just gonna be insane. You know, if like this year's draft, like you're gonna get like your team's gonna be already really good, and you're gonna get a lottery pick on top of that. Man, that's pretty scary to think about. And maybe if Ashley Jones finds a spot in Dallas, finds a permanent spot in Dallas, it's going to depend on what the off season looks like for Dallas, but as well. But I mean, you obviously have to resign. You pretty much. If I'm Dallas, I'd want to keep my whole roster intact. I won't want to keep like one player and trade some players. Like this roster intact is like actually really good. You know, like Maybe they could have kept Marina Mabry, but this whole roster here, Dallas's roster pretty much right now is like solid. It's a good solid roster. You got Minnesota now. You got Minnesota on the ladder in there. Minnesota's look vastly different without Silly Fowles. Last year's Silly Fowles. Last year, yeah, they didn't look race because Nafisa was out and they were benched. It was basically Silly Fowles and like Kayla McBride and some players carrying the team. The players trying to do a lot. But this year now they got Nafisa back. They got some good players. Like Diamond Miller is really solid. Been like really, really solid for them. And she's been playing her way in the rookie of the year candidate. So, I mean, she really has. She's been like amazing. So, they just got some like. I think they're not like right there because they do have some players like they did do some good trades and like Tiffany Mitchell and all that. They did do some good trades, but they're like and Natalie Chan was out for pregnancy, I believe. Yeah, so they're. I mean, AP Aerial Powers is in. So like their night one is probably gonna get out this year. That's in the off season. So most likely she's gonna be out. So if they just need that like there's like a piece or two, a player or two away from I think becoming like a really good team, like a good solid team, like like whether it's like are they in the lottery and can they draft in the lottery? Draft in the lottery. I mean, these couple of draft years are like a toss up though. It's like it's like Caitlin Clark gonna play out 4 years and then go to the WNBA and not play her fifth, or is she gonna play her fifth, or Paige Becker's actually gonna take that time in college after she's been injury prone in college, and actually, or is she just gonna go straight to the W? Like that's what I'm wondering. Like, is Haley Van Lith? Is she gonna play her fifth? I believe she has a fifth year too. So, are some of these players gonna take their fifth years? Because especially at the NIL. Or are they gonna get like their NIL, like their deals, their marketing deals plus WNBA center on top of it? I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's gonna be very interesting. But I mean, it is really toss up because Minnesota's really just one player, right? A couple players there from being good or being amazing, I guess. And a lot of it would really hope that, or if they find someone good in like it depends what they have to do. They could either like, if they get the lottery, like they could do like a draft like they did this year, and find someone good in the draft, or they can just, or if they don't, maybe even if they don't get a top pick, like they can like Shirley knows how to draft. She got Dorky got late in the draft, like second round, and she should have been like earlier. Someone like slipped on player. Like you can she can still do a draft, I guess, or I mean, depending. So we'll see. So the Mystics this season, it's kind of unfair to say because they've been injured. They have like no Ariel Atkins, no Deladon, like Shakira Austin. like some of their stars have been out injured, so it's kind of like an unfair season. Will they look better with their stars? Yes, but when will they? You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and when they come back, it's gonna take time for them to gel. And if they come back this season, it's gonna take time for them to gel and like get used to it. Especially if they get like put back in like late in the year. Like, I mean, the Mystics, honestly, if they play, they want like enough time to they want a few regular season games for some of their stars to gel. They're back from injury, so that'd be the best case scenario. But I'd be kind of scared though if I was like a top team and the stars came back and they're actually healthy. I'd be kind of scared, maybe because they look like a more competitive team. Chicago. I mean, they look good, but they're just like that firing James Wade. So, like they have a good team. Like they have a good solid team. It's just like a young team. Like they pretty much just have Courtney Williams, like Clea Copper, who are like leading the team. But then they have some younger players like I guess Mabry. They have a bunch of younger players like Dana Evans, Alana Smith, Morgan Birch, like a bunch of young stars, a bunch of young players, like are just finding footing in the WNBA. So, like Alana Smith and Morgan Birch and all them, like finding their fitting. Like good players, but they just, you know what I mean? Like they just can't, you know what I mean? They're just not like star heavy yet. I mean, you know what I mean? But eventually, I think it's gonna be one of those seasons where like they take a couple years, like they build. Like this year, like they just build. Like if you can give like these players a few years to like learn and stuff, and keep like a solid team, like or you know what I mean, like organically grow. Like these players just play a couple seasons together, and they organically get better. Or like you do like the draft, or you do like the draft. Like build to the draft and build or trades or something like that. Like try to go a little bit faster, maybe. But I think the firing of James Wade didn't help, though. Or not firing, but like James Wade like leaving to go to the Raptors as an assistant. I don't think his main focus was the Sky, so. And then you have the Sparks to 18. I mean, they're a game. I mean, their roster's been in like not greatest year after year lately. I just don't see them like competing. I mean, I could see them making playoffs, but I don't see them like winning anything, like going anywhere in playoffs. I don't. So the Sparks, they're out. Like they're pretty much just like one of those. It's pretty much like I think what they need is like the Sparks need to start over from scratch. Like and they were with Kurt Miller. There's a new coach. They were. But they need to just player wise, they need to start from scratch. You need to like having like Jasmine Thomas being familiar with Kurt Miller. That's alright. But like and Lexi Brown's been out for personal reasons, mental health break maybe, stuff like that. So like so you've had, and then you have like Neka Chine, you have Jasmine Thomas, I think what they need to do is, sorry to say it, but they need to cut. They need to like start from scratch, like no Neka, no Chine, and just like a be like be like a be like a sugar, be like a young team. You need to be like a Seattle or be like an Indiana this year or something. They need to be like a young team and just start from scratch and accept the fact that they're still gonna be bad a couple more seasons, but they're slowly gonna improve and slowly improve. Like if they actually, I think what would be best for them was actually like having like a young team and then just getting like winning in the lottery, like getting lottery picks, top 4 picks, a couple seasons in a row. That would actually be very, very good for Spurs. Getting those top lottery picks and actually getting like someone like Paige Beckers, Caitlin Clark. Even with like Easy Fud if she goes in the next couple of years. You got Cameron Brink, you have like I'm blanking, like Liz Kitley, you got who else you got? DJ Kelly. You know Turner. Who else? I can't remember, but you got some young stars. It's a good talent in college. Like a bunch of that can go in the next couple years. If you get a couple of them, like some might go this year for this year. Some will probably go next, might take a next year, go there next year. If you can get a couple of them together, and along, you got like Ray Burrell, you have the Samuel Sentence. You got, you're gonna accept the fact that, basically accept the fact that you're not gonna do well next couple of seasons, and you draft, you build it up through the draft, or if you can get like a pretty good off-season trade happening, I think that's what you do. But Neck and Champ, their main reason is they're not going to leave. So they don't want to stay here the rest of their careers. So you need to leave. You need to retire, essentially. I mean, so I don't know. I mean, it's one of those things like, yeah, like they can't trade them because they're not going to accept any trade requests. But then they're not ready to retire yet. I don't know. So it's. Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix is doing good, but Phoenix is okay. I guess they just don't really have like a lot of top talent. They just have like a lot, like Vanessa Nygaard left or Nikki Bloom. They're okay. Been doing good, better 5-5, but they've been doing better. It was late. No, turn this thing around with Nikki, which is a good thing. So now I'm just getting used to running with Nikki, and Dan Trozzi's been playing really well as of late, and getting used to like Nikki Blue's system. And she's been out with injury a little bit, so they have been. So Brittany Griner, Dan Trozzi been out with injury, so doing well. Seattle, yeah, they're a young team, and they're just they're basically accepting the fact that when Rita Stewart and like left super retired, they accepted the fact that they weren't going to be great. Now they just had someone from Europe over, like left them to train for Europe season. So now they've accepted the fact that they actually need to go through the draft. Because no one can coach. and can lead them. It's just that, yeah, they just need to accept they pretty much already accept the fact they just need to go through the draft, get some lottery picks, go through the draft organically, and just get some picks and get, you know what I mean? That's what they need to do. And so, not much I can say there. Indiana is a nice young core. They're young. A lot of these players in Indiana are really, really young. You know, like pretty young, or just don't have a lot of WNBA experience, stuff like that. So, if they can build through the draft, if they can build like a young team organically through the draft, you know, like so increase wins, like the win percentage from last season, this season, we go up. Like if they play more games, so win percentage will go up a little bit. Can go up a little bit. You know? Or can their and then can they build from there just so like say they get 10 wins this year, next year they get 12 or 4 like 12, 13 wins. Like or they slowly build up on wins each year, like get a few more every single season. Just build organically through the draft. Especially these like top 4 picks, top 4s. Just get someplace in the lottery. Just organically build through the draft. Like that's something they need to do. You know? So because they're good, they just like they're good. They've been competitive in a lot of games. It's just like they just can't seem to win. Just one little mistake happens. Like they have a few little mistakes and then it cuts them. It costs them, you know. Which is kind of unfortunate, but yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So I'm just gonna that's it for my thoughts on the 2023 WNBA standings score. And my thoughts are also Las Vegas, I think there's just stay 1. Liberty are stay 2. Sun are gonna stay 3. The Wings and the Dream I think are gonna stay 4 and 5. Maybe the Lynx gain to 5, 4 or 5. But Dallas I think line up Minnesota are gonna be in that 4 through 6 range. So unless if the Mystics get healthy, I don't see them. You know, I can see them doing better, or you know, being like those underrated teams, like when they were hurt in the season, they were hurt to draft their like seeding doesn't reflect how good they are. Teams, or you know, what I mean, it could be one of them teams if they get healthy, you know, or if they're not healthy, you know, like it's just like what could have been here, like could they have been better than the record shows? Yes, like how good, like well, you know, never, you know, we won't know, you know. You know, so yeah, and I think Chicago, Los Angeles, yeah, Washington, yeah, they're gonna fight for the top last spot in the playoffs. And you know what I mean? So we'll see, you know, who wins. And there's a couple games today in the Chicago and Washington, Liberty, Indiana, Phoenix, and Seattle. You have the Dream in the Aces. So, you know, I mean, there's still some good chance for actually Indiana to actually get some wins. Indiana against Washington. Indiana against Phoenix. Indiana against Seattle. I mean, you do have, there is some good chances for Indiana. actually get some solid wins on their year, like against Chicago, against couple games against Dallas, and they have like a game, so they have some chances to get some solid wins. So maybe they actually could still be in the playoffs. So we'll see. So I'll probably make another run like near the end of August. There's some more teams like decided for the playoffs or out of the playoffs. It might be a little shorter, but it's not a little shorter than the last one. Something to